Today on Weekend Connection, the focus is on biblically based investing. Now, have I piqued your interest? Well, stay tuned for the next 10-15 minutes. My guest is Art Alley, and what do you say we get connected with him on Weekend Connection? Good afternoon. This is Weekend Connection on the Bible Broadcasting Network. Ed Phillips with you today, and I have as my guest a gentleman. His name is Art Alley, A-L-L-Y, and today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic to me, and I hope it is to you. We're going to be talking with him about biblically responsible investing, and I want to say right from the outset that this is not going to be a program where we're giving specific investment advice or anything like that. Got to get that out on the table, Art, because we're really going to be talking more about a philosophy of investing and not whether to go with mutual funds or stocks or this or that or anything of the sort, but biblically based or biblically responsible investing. Art, welcome to Weekend Connection.
Well, Ed, thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. Thank you for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule to talk with me and our BBN listeners. First, before we launch in, a little background as to who you are.
Well, anymore, I'm an old guy, Ed, but I've been in the investment industry for over 40 years, primarily giving financial advice to the Christian community here in Central Florida. And it just kind of hit me. I'm very active in battling some of the problems we have in America with abortion and pornography and those things. It finally dawned on me, here I am helping clients invest money in some of the companies that are underwriting some of the unholy agenda items that we're battling against. And we said, you know what? There needs to be an alternative for people of faith. When they invest, they need to be able to invest according to their convictions if they want to. Not everybody wants to, but I mean, if they're serious about their faith, if they're serious about things like abortion, why would you want to invest money in companies that are funding that stuff? Or pornography, which is a scourge on our culture today. So we did launch a program that refuses to invest in companies that, for lack of a better term, Ed, are pursuing an unholy agenda. And that kind of gave birth to the biblically responsible investing movement.
And before we get into some of the details of all this, how did the Lord bring that about, that all of a sudden, boom, you had that aha moment?
Well, I think it was a 2x4 ad that he uses, because I really didn't want to do that. I had a very nice practice, making a very good living. And when it hit me that nobody was addressing these issues, and there were issues very dear to me, I went home and talked to my wife, which, I'm not sure. Are you married, Ed? And if you are,
Yes.
You better talk to the wife, because God gives women a certain sense that us guys are just oblivious to. So I went home and talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that really set us on a journey that is not going to dishonor the chairman of our board, who is Jesus Christ. And when we launched on this venture, my friends on Wall Street said, "You're nuts." And in fact, my wife still says that from time to time. But I said, "What do you mean I'm nuts?" They said, "You can't not invest in some of these largest, most profitable companies and expect to get good investment returns." Well, Ed, my response to them then is exactly what my response to anybody who asks me that question today. If you are a Bible-believing Christian, obedience trumps performance every single time. Obedience is what matters to God, and performance, that takes care of itself if you're obedient.
And so how do you keep track, or how does your program keep track of all these companies and their practices in order, if a person wants to make these type of decisions?
It takes a lot of deep research. We've got a team of 5 people who do nothing but research what these companies are involved in beneath the radar, because, people would be shocked at some of these companies and what they do. They dig, they document, and our purpose is not to blacklist anybody, but if we can document what these companies are doing in the various biblical screens that we apply, we refuse to allow our money management firms to invest in those companies. We don't sit there and broadcast it and, put it up on our website, although we do have some examples there. But they document companies that are violating biblical principles in what they're doing, who they're funding, what business they're in. A lot of the companies we screen out, Ed, have nothing to do with the business they're in. It's just for some devious purpose they're funding things that Christians should be really shocked and abhorrent to. You do not have to own companies that fail your moral convictions, your biblical understanding. People should have the ability to match their convictions with the way they invest money. And there are a number of investment opportunities out there that are exactly opposite of that. And I couldn't disagree more with them, but I would defend the right to be there for people that, have that view.
Now, you wrote a book in 2019, Invested with Purpose, The Birth of the Biblically Responsible Investment Movement. Is this a recent movement, or has this been going on for some time and we just haven't been hearing about it?
Well, we were the pioneer. I mean, nobody was doing this when we launched 26 years ago. But over that period of time, numerous other money management firms have entered this space. Some of them better than others. Some of them think it's a marketing opportunity instead of a conviction. But it has grown substantially over these 26 years. The book that you referred to, I really didn't want to do. I guess I don't want to do a lot of things. But people insisted, and we just had to capture that in a book form to give people encouragement. God is still in control. He is still in business. He still knows what's going on. And, if you are obedient to him, that's what he really asks of us, other than the kind of shallow faith too many people have today. That sounded judgmental. I don't mean it to be, but unfortunately, I think it's true.
And so, for more information for our listeners, they can go to your website. And what is that?
TimothyPlan.com. It's a website that's very easy to navigate. It had to be so I can use it. I'm not a young teenager anymore that's born with the genes that just know how to operate these electronic wizardry things. But it is a very nice website. It does capture the history of the biblically responsible movement. And it's just a real, pretty complete look at what's going on in the world of biblically responsible investing.
Anything else you'd like to add before we close out today?
Well, Ed, you didn't ask the one question most people ask me when I ask them how many companies you think screen out.
Okay. How many do you screen out?
Well, people guess anywhere from 50 to 80% of the companies, and that's just not true. We actually screen out just under 10%. Still have a universe of 90% to choose from. And, at times that does cause a little underperformance compared to the peers. But at other times, when they crash and burn, we look really good. It's not as many as people would think. And our goal would be have none on the prohibited list, but that's just not realistic.
Are those companies on the increase that you screen out in recent days, or has it stayed pretty much the same percentage over the years?
Ed, it's been fairly stable. It increases lately a little bit, but, it's not dramatically. But, bottom line, Ed, as you probably well know, it's always about the money. If Bible-believing Christians would simply quit shopping at companies that violate their convictions, quit investing in companies that violate their convictions, this would be a very different country, because something on the area of 70-80% of all the money invested in the investment arena is invested by people who claim to be Bible-believing Christians. We could change America if we would just, exercise more obedience in what the Bible tells us we ought to be doing and we ought to be avoiding. If you really are a Bible-believing Christian, then we ought to be acting like it in this one area of investing.
Art, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with me and be with our BBN listeners today on Weekend Connection. And to wrap up, if you could give that web address again and perhaps an email address.
Okay, thanks a lot. And for the good work you guys do, our phone number, if you call us, you get a human being answer the phone. Our phone number is 1-800-TIM-PLAN if people have questions. Our website is timothyplan.com, and if people prefer to email a question or anything, it's just info@timothyplan.com.
Art Alley, thank you so much for being with
Ed,
me today.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. God bless.
Thank you. Weekend Connection is a public affairs program of the Bible Broadcasting Network. And you can hear Weekend Connection every Saturday afternoon at 4:02 p.m. Eastern Time, and that follows the 4 o'clock Eastern Time news. Weekend Connection on BBN.
Thank you for listening to this feature, a production of BBN, the Bible Broadcasting Network. BBN provides 24-hour Christian programming, great Christian music, and Bible teaching. Listen to BBN by clicking the link in the description.